Hey, what up, guys? It's me again, and welcome to the This Is My Moment podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Mitchell, and here at This Is My Moment, we love meeting new people, we love having a good time, and we love making you smile. Let's go get it.
There ain't no stopping it, this is my moment. Join the movement, we bringing people together, bringing positivity, making changes for the better. Cause it's all
Today, man, I got a cat that I've been knowing I think since 2002. What's that? 21 years worth. Man, introduce yourself to the family.
All right, Rob Hinderman, San Antonio native, retired Air Force, 24 years worth.
Yeah, it is.
Christian by trade, so I literally light up everybody's life.
Y'all already smiling. Hey, man, so first off, man, welcome to the podcast. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Man, you got it, man. And I tell you what, before we get into the questions, I always start off with a little story. And since I know you, I'm gonna give you one. I get to Yokota, that's Japan, right? And we playing basketball. I'm young then. I'm feeling good. I ain't got no injuries. I get on the team, and the person I'm playing behind is this cat. This cat, man, I'm talking about, man, you talking about a dude that can go post moves, jump shots, defense, man. Like, I hated going to practice, but I loved it because he made me so much better, man. And then when we went on the trips, man, you see this dude shine, man. He's been playing ball ever since I known him, and you stellar with it, man. You and Sam Bolden, man. I hated not starting. But if I had to be behind somebody, man, you two cats, man, you was my guy. And still to this day, man. Still to this day, I appreciate all the mentorship, man. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the love, man, that you show. So appreciate you, brother.
Man, thank you. You know, those were some fun times.
Boy, hey, we used to get it in, man. And Hinderman followed me too, man, and Sam followed me. So we got a lot of people that was part of that team with us, that keep up with us, man. I want to talk to you though. So over all these years, we've kept in touch just a little bit here and there, but recently we've been in touch a lot. And I appreciate all the love, but I want to ask you something, man. Since your retirement, since the military days, man, it takes a different kind of mindset to be a military person. Like, you can't be built the same because you got to be a little bit different. And I talk about resiliency because you got to be mentally resilient to be a part of that. What is your definition of resiliency, man?
I think it's overcoming whatever situation you in to get where you want to go. My aunt always had a saying when I was growing up. She said, some people grow into ugliness, some people grow out of ugliness. Now, if you put that in perspective to me and you, we're from Texas, you from Houston, I'm from San Antonio. I grew up kind of poor. Yeah. You probably grew up a little economically challenged as well.
A little bit.
So we grew out of a situation. That's the ugliness we grew out of because we went in the military, kept our head on straight, did what we supposed to do, finished the race, came out with the carrot at the end.
Yeah, we did.
Took them experiences, and now we doing bigger and better things, still serving.
Yeah.
Community, still do what we supposed to do, still got a job with purpose.
That's it, bro.
Just like in the military, we dealt with people that came from all walks of life. Rich, poor, well off, bored, just wanting to get away from their situation and go do something else. Yeah. So I think the resiliency is, seeing yourself someplace different than where you currently are and not letting them obstacles stop you from getting there.
Dig that. And I tell you what, man, a lot of times people do let one or two negative obstacles stop them from achieving that end goal. You know what I mean? Yep. We used to hoop, and hooping, man, your shoe come untied, man, you still got to hoop though. Like, like you can't be like, coach, take me out because my shoe. Like, that's how life is too, man. Like, just because something happens, you still got to finish your race. Yep. And I believe that you're spot on, man. Getting out of that ugliness into something that you want to be and something that's worth who you are as a person, man, is huge, man. That's what's up. Yep. When you retire, When you retire?
I retired. My retirement date I actually started terminal leave and that 1 December 2010, and my retirement date was 31 March 2011. So for them 4 months, I was sitting at home. Well, not necessarily sitting at home, trying to come back and get adjusted to what life was going to be after the military, because I came back home to San Antonio.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So since retirement to today, man, what you been doing?
Oh, let's see. The first year, May of 2011, I was able to start using my post 9/11 GI Bill.
There you go.
Went to school to finish my degree. The first 2 years I retired.
Yeah.
The first year I was unemployed. The next year I got a job back on Fort Sam in the electric shop, because I was an electrician in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So I made my way pretty much from there to pretty much an engineering tech now.
Yeah.
In that part of the process. So I went from carrying tools to pretty much sitting at a desk using my brain.
Hey, I tell you what, man, I ain't mad at that though. Like the older I get, the more appreciative I am of all that hard work, to where now I can sit back and be like, hey, young man, look at this, how you do it, youngster. I like that. Like that shows growth to me. So
and you probably the same way. You probably still got a few people that you know in the military that you see them making E7, E8, or E9, and they still reach back and say, hey, thank you for those lessons, or thank you for what you instilled in me during those times. So they let you know, hey, your time was well served.
That's it right there, brother, man. Ain't nothing like being out and about, right, and seeing young cats that were just coming in when you were getting ready to push out. And, you know, I'm a huge fan of training your replacements, because no one is ever going to do something the entire time, right? So you got to train these cats up, man, in a manner to where they just not falling for foolishness, because it's real easy to get caught up in some of the falsities of what you think things should be. But when you got guys like us, man, that's willing to take these young cats under their arm, be like, hey, man, look here. When I was in, you was able to get away with it. You can't do that now. You got to move different if you want to make it a career. If you're here just to get away from the house, the fastest way to get back to the house is keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. And you said train, keyword, you said train your replacement. You probably see, now that you retired and you've been working in the civilian world, the military is the only place that truly does that.
Yeah.
Because, any day you may deploy, so the lowest ranking person might be in charge of the shop all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Or the person above you may deploy, you may have to go step up and be the superintendent.
Yeah.
So you kind of, in the military, you kind of always got to know one job up and two down, because you don't never know what the situation is going to be. In the civilian world, it's not a team effort. It's a bunch of individuals trying to work towards a goal, because everybody eventually is out for themselves.
Yeah.
And that leads into my next question, man. How has it been for you going from that mindset of military to that retired civilian mindset? How you making it?
Well, initially, my first job back in the workforce was electrician, carrying tools.
Okay.
My last job in the military was the superintendent over the shop. So going into the shop and just asking certain questions, I noticed the people that were in charge, they got real butthurt. Because they were like, why are you asking all these questions the way you asking these questions? And I'm like, hey, I got a little bit of experience. I'm just trying to understand what you do here so I can fit in.
Yeah.
They thought I was trying to knock what they did or what they didn't do, or trying to badmouth them. And I was like, hey, no, you guys are civilians and you've only ever worked in San Antonio. This is the only place you ever worked. I'd have been 9 different bases, 7 deployments. So I know how to do the same thing 100 different ways.
Yeah.
Where you only learn this way and you think that's the only way there is to do things.
Yeah.
So as the jobs went, some were better than others, but what I learned in the military, it applies to all situations, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure just like you, once you learn your job, the way the book says do it, you'll learn the shortcuts. And as long as you know your job, it's only so many questions people gonna question you. So many things people gonna question you on.
True that.
Like push come to shove, you still gotta get the job done.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you, for me, man, the hardest part was this not being early. Like I've had it, man. So you know, in the service, man, work start at 7:38. You go PT, you come back, man. You might be there 7:00, right? Like, and ain't nobody saying nothing. It's just 7:00. We work, we get there, we work, we leave when it's done. Man, I realized that I enjoyed the flexibility of coming early and leaving late, because at the end of the day, you're right, the job got to get done. Here, once I retired, man, I realized, like, they say 8:00. Look here, 8:00.
Yep.
I got to work one day. I started the new gig I got now, man. I love it, man. But I got that one day, right? 7:30, Rob. I got to work at 7:30. Door was locked.
Oh my.
I'm like, man, nobody at 7:30. It don't do that. It opens up at 7:35 automatically. Then you can come in. But I was like, what happens if I want to get here early? Like, we don't pay for early. Like, this is how you do it. In order for us not to get in trouble, like, we have to do it like a certain way. And it took me 2 or 3 months, man, just to realize that, you know what? I'm not in this service no more. I can't just come and go when I want. Like, I gotta buckle down to be, hey, okay, I'm here. Then I'll stay late. Hey, overtime if need be. But it's hard to lose that military, get it done. Whenever it's done, it's done.
I'm gonna hit you with the flip side of that story.
Go ahead.
I took a job one time at this particular car dealership here in San Antonio to work in their parts warehouse.
Yeah.
And the hours were from 7, I think they were from 7 to 4, 7 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I go do this job. So I told him, I said, okay, I'm still in school. So on the days I got class, which this particular semester when I started, it was like Tuesday and Thursday. It was like I need to be gone by 5:00.
Yeah.
So the way the job worked is I worked upstairs in the warehouse part. They would send tickets up. I go pull the parts, put them on the lift. They take them down. They ship them out to the different car dealers or repair places, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So their expectation was as long as there were tickets, I would stay there. Those tickets were gone, me and the other guys. And I was like, well, that's fine on days I don't have to go to school. But on days I got to go to school, I got to go at a certain time. I was like, and I told the manager that when I got hired, if that's a problem, y'all need to go talk to the manager. I was like, but on these days, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
So then, you know, and I only wound up staying at this job 4 days, not because it was hard, but I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work for where I'm trying to go, what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So the guy I was working with in the warehouse, he was like, hey, in about 2 weeks, I'm a be off for like 3 months because I gotta have cancer. I gotta have treatment for cancer.
Yeah.
I was like, man. And like the first day I was there, I came back the next day. He was like, well, we were here till like 7 to 7:30 pushing out the tickets. I was like, no. I was like, those sound like deployment hours to me. On deployment, it don't matter. You ain't got nothing to do. But, you know, I got from the military. I got money coming in. This ain't something I need to do. So by that weekend, I told the man, I said, nah, I done mastered the job, but I'm going to let you get this one to somebody else. They got to do that.
I'm going to call you.
Here's the funny thing. This job, and like I said, it was a job just to do something because the job only paid $8 an hour.
Yeah.
Now, this is in 2011. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, I don't need this job. I'm gonna do it just to do something. Just
get out the house.
See how the outside world works.
Yeah.
That didn't work. That didn't work for me.
Hey, all the 4 days.
Yeah, my wife laughed at me. She was like, I knew you weren't gonna stay at that job. I was like, it was something to do, but I can't do that.
Like I do something else.
Gotta do something else. I can't do that. I should have went to work at McDonald's or something.
Hey man, already. So that's actually my next question, man. You own it. So now that you're doing you're still back into your electrician thing, man. You're doing it bad. How is your work-life balance, man? Are you getting the time from the job to keep the house happy, man? How is your work-life balance looking?
Well, the job I have now, I work at a particular building on the port of San Antonio, old Kelly Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And my hours are basically 6:30 to 3:30, 6:30 in the morning to 3:30. So on the days we go to work, yeah, I see you look, because I do telework some days. I only go into the office 2 days a week on Wednesday and Thursday. So on those other 3 days, I had a flexibility. If something comes up during the day, I can just work some extra time on the end of the day or the next day to have that flex time to make up the time. But even when I was in the last job I had before this one was a GS job at Lackland.
Yeah.
I was a stickler. I'm like you. I love coming early because I like to get started early, to get there and get focused, beat the traffic.
Yeah.
But when it's time to go, I'm leaving. I don't need the overtime. I don't want the overtime. I mean, if you're gonna give me comp time, that's good. Don't give me no extra pay. That's extra taxes. I ain't trying to pay them. But when it's time to go, it's time to go. And when you in, just like you were in the comm squadron in the Air Force, I'm in CE.
Mm-hmm.
So we know within CE, you got 2 sides of CE. You got the operation side, which are all the shops that go fix everything. You got the engineering side that plan projects. Well, my last GS job was on the engineering side. So I know there's no such thing as emergencies because we don't deal with power outages, water breaks, HVAC outages. So for somebody to tell me, oh, I need you to stay late. It's like, no, you don't. Ain't nobody gonna sign this paperwork today. It could be done tomorrow. So my mindset now is if you give me more work than it can be done in 8 hours, at the 8-hour mark, we're gonna stop. So that's my work-life balance. I got to be able to go home on time.
Hey, how is it, man? Like coming back, man, being married to Mo, man, and understanding that. Look, man, hey, 3:30, 4 o'clock, we at the house, man. How was that? Like that retired, being married, not going on these deployments. How has that been?
I mean, it's her. She has a job. She has a GS job too.
Yeah.
So her job is the same as trying to cut it off at a certain time of day as well. But I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Korea for a year in this capacity? Who wouldn't want to go back to Japan? Who wouldn't want to go on a certain deployment? You know, I miss the free travel, you know, but moving, I don't miss the moving at all. You know, after a while, deploying was fun, but doing PCSing was fun. But once you have a family and you got kids, you know, it becomes a headache to pack up everything and move and set up everything. So that part of it is way better to kind of be settled and say, okay, we're gonna go on a vacation for a week or two, then we're gonna come back home.
Yeah. I always thought that was the hardest part for me, man, was that the being separated part. Like, I love to travel. Still to this day, man, I like to get out there and go see stuff. That ain't no question. But it was always difficult for me to be away from the people that you cared about and loved. Not just like Heather and the kids, my mom and them, you know what I mean? Like missing, like, I can remember one time, man, they had me in Saudi Arabia, and one of my grandparents passed away. I couldn't even get back home. So, like, little things like that, things that mean something to you, you can't necessarily get to or get back in because you just can't do it. That's not where you're at. And you're right, man. Like, being retired and being stable has been so much more fun, man, because now I'm not missing out on stuff, man. You look up, man, I might be in Dallas, man. You catch me in Kansas City. Like, hey, ain't no telling where I'm gonna be. But
you got a lot of flexibility. But I know exactly what you mean, because I was on a deployment in '97 to Bahrain when my grandfather passed away.
Yeah.
And I could have easily went home for a week or two and came back, because it wound up being like a 9-month deployment. But the commander didn't want to let me go home.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was putting in work for that deployment. After that, I was like, nope, take care of self. Yeah. You know, because there's still a corporation, and the corporation gonna do what's best for them. They gonna always do what's best for me. So my attitude greatly changed after that. As well as when my son was born, he was 1 year old. In order to PCS from a base, I went to Kumsan for a year.
Yeah.
So it's his whole second year, other than midterm leave, for the betterment in the long run. But I still had to miss it though. So that was a thing.
Do you think being married, being a dad now, man, and being retired and being able to catch all of those events, right, being there, you think that's what it is, man?
And that's the greatest thing in the world. Being able to coach my son through the YMCA and watch him play basketball, watch him grow up and doing stuff. I mean, that who don't want that? You know, that's been a great thing.
Yeah.
For sure. Wouldn't trade that for the world. Me and my dad were distant growing up because my mom and dad did not get along as far back as I can remember. So he was estranged a lot. So being able to be with my son, that's been a great thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I still owe him too. I think he got a hold of me at that Top Golf, man. So just hey, let him know he on my hit list, brother. I think
Return match.
I need that re-up, man. He got a hold of me, and I'm not opposed to lose. I just don't like when little kids beat me.
I know. That's what the barbershop guy said about him playing dominoes with him.
He on the bones?
Yes, sir. Very much so. He'll put a whooping on you.
I don't know.
He's smart.
Hey, you can be smart, but I'm pretty smart too. I'm gonna have to come through that with them things.
Oh yeah, he ready. We got a table waiting on you.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this here. What do you think is one of the most important elements of being a successful dad and being a successful husband? What do you think?
For dad, being present, you know, because you gotta be present. I mean, and you know, you're gonna making sure your kids get to enjoy some of them experiences you want them to experience, and then some of the things they want to experience.
Yeah.
I you know, after playing all the basketball we played, we were single. You know, when I got married, I loved taking him to practice, even though I complained some of them days, but it was like, man, it was good. Taking him to basketball practice or the flag football practice when he played or the soccer practice when he played, and just being able to coach him so I know he could enjoy going out there and having fun in sports. That was good. Helping him with his homework now, or should I say being able to help him with his math homework now is a blessing. It's like, I did help you. You did learn something, or being able to help him with his English or his science homework. Those you can't put a value on those things. Yeah. You know, and he's the only child, so that makes a big difference. You know, when it comes to marriage, of course, you know, you and your spouse being able to do stuff together. Yeah. Going from 0 to 100, you know, looking at where you came from to where you are now. And how you got there, you know, sometimes it was a tug of war to get there, you know, but you know, I always say any experience you can laugh about later was good to go through, because I've already seen hard. And nothing that I experienced in my adult life harder than what I experienced growing up. Bro, I don't care what nobody say.
Brother, I tell you what, man, a lot of people don't know this, and I think a lot of people get it misunderstood and think that when you're in the military, you make a lot of bread, right? A lot of, oh man, you in the government, man, you work for the government, man, you eating. Nah, brother, I can remember, and I told the story before, when me and Heather first got married, you know, we grew up the same year. We both poor. That ain't no secret, man. I talk about it. I embrace it because I know what I don't want to be, right? And we used to, man, take, and this was at Yakota, we used to take clothes and items back if we didn't wear it or nothing. It had the tag on it, just to make sure that we can get to the first, right? Like it was that tight. And I tell you what, man, having somebody that understands that hustle, because a lot of times, man, marriages break up over money. And if you ain't eating like that, if you like, hey, babe, we got to sit down and talk. Like, we got $1,000 worth of bills, $700 worth of bread. Like
this don't add up real good.
Hey, my mouth not hey, my mouth not mathing. Yeah, hey, some got to go back. But you know what? As we got older, right? and we started changing the people that we talked to, changing the mindset, learning the things that people didn't teach us because they didn't know. Once you start learning, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I can be okay with this money if I do this. So now you start to grow. So now as you get older, right now your money looking way better. You're like, but I just told Ash, I said, man, I still have a cheap kind of mindset. Like I go out, man, I go out and buy something or watch or something or shoe or something, but I get upset when I got to spend $12 for a Whataburger or something, right? I'm like, come on, man.
I was telling my wife the other week, I said, it's a shame that you work and you can't go nowhere and buy lunch for less than $10 or $9 a meal. Ain't many places you could buy a meal, but I'm cheap on some things, know, when I was single. If I wanted some electronics, I saved my little money. Being in a little dorm, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spend this paycheck and next paycheck. I'll just wait till the next paycheck. I eat in the dining hall. I'll be good to go. I'm good. Dorm room got stuff in it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. But I learned. I met one guy in the military like halfway through. Actually, I had been in like 14 years, and I met this one guy, and I'll leave him nameless, and you know who he is, but I'll leave him nameless. And he had got divorced when I met him. He was getting divorced.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said, what I do is I spend a check and save a check.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if somebody had just told me that when I first joined the military, I wouldn't be working now. Because
you think so?
Can you imagine going through your 20 years, you spend one check, or you live off one check and you just save the other, no matter what the time.
So all your bills and stuff come out of that one check. The others go into
everything, and you just save the other one. Can you imagine if you had enacted that when you first came in all the way through? Even when married, we're gonna say we married. It's four. We got 4 checks. We're gonna live off one and save the other 3. I met that couple before too. And when they were at Yokota, they told me that's what made me want to go to Yokota. But if you'd have just enacted that, can you imagine where you would be? Because then you like, okay, like you said, I'm gonna live within my means, and my means is this. This is not what it really is. But I'm gonna live within this so that later on I can live anywhere I want to live.
Anyway,
work, not work, do whatever I want to do.
Options.
Because even now, as sad as it is to say, you and I could both sit at home every day. Our bills still gonna be paid. We still gonna have money to do some things.
I might be bored out of my mind though.
Yeah, we used to doing stuff. That's why we go to work.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, man? And when you have options, it makes my stress meter way less.
Yes, sir.
I talk to cats where they work and that's their only source of income, right? And there's nothing against that. And you do what you got to do to eat. Not mad. But I'm going to tell you what, you put up with more stuff when you have to. When you don't have to do it, dude, I promise you, they told me this the other day. They say, Pat, you just say whatever you thinking, don't you? I said, it don't make no sense.
I know.
Why am I going to not say something that don't make sense? Like, what you doing don't make sense. So this is what I'm going to do. But a lot of people, though, Rob, a lot of people won't say that because if you say the wrong thing, this Texas, man, they don't need no reason to fire you. They let you go. Man. And if I say the wrong thing, someone gets offended, tomorrow I got a pink slip. How am I eat?
Yep.
So you know what? I'm going to put up with this until I can find something better or just deal with it. And I tell you what, bro, them 20 years that I put in before this here gives me the flexibility and the options that I like, because I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Good luck.
You remember that saying in the Air Force, flexibility is the key to air power? It is. Because but see, that go back to what I said about knowing my job. If I know my job and I know what the books say and I'm doing my job right, I don't care what you say. You can say what you want to do. I'm going to still do my job by the book. You don't like it, you don't like it. What you going to do, fire me? Because you ain't going to find nobody that's going to do what I do, you know, as much as I do. Because I don't just do my job. I help other people do their job. So them people depended on me too. So you think they ain't going to go to bat for me if you try to get rid of me? You know, so go ahead. I mean, I ran into the situation. I'm a contractor now. I ran into the situation when I was at my last GS job. I kept trying to get the next job, a high grade job. And I started hearing, well, oh, they don't want to hire you for this job and take you out of this section because you gonna make this section, the section you in, short. I was like, oh, so somebody trying to do some career management for me. I was like, let me fix that. I'll go find me another job somewhere completely different. And then they just lose me and let's see how they do now. And they still can recover.
Are you serious?
Yes. Because that same location, I have to help them for my job now. Yeah. And I tell them all the time, I know nobody at the job know what I know when I left because I trained all the other people I used to work with.
Yeah. Hey, the people you relying on was trained by me.
And they're gone too.
Man, that's solid, man. Hey, Rob, now we're finna have some fun.
Okay.
At the end of every show, since I started, man, I've always played this game. I didn't have a name for it last season. This season, man, I call it Pick One. I give you two choices. You got to pick. Guys, just like always, he knew the answers. Ashley sent them to him, man. He killed it. I had a great time, man. I always do, so I knew that was going to happen. But he don't know these next three. You ready?
Go for it.
Let's get to work. Military, retired. Which one you choosing?
Oh, I say the military. I go back and do all that time all over again. Easy. It was fun. 24 years of fun.
Okay. Coaching your kid or being on the court?
Oh, it definitely being on the court. It definitely being on the court. Man, being on the court. Do you know at the age I have now, which is 55, I wish I could go out and play a week's worth of basketball like I used to at age 20 or 21. That's like that was the most fun ever. That was back in the day when you didn't have nothing to stress about, nothing to worry about. Anytime you get mad, you just take it out on the people on the basketball court.
Man, hold this.
Yep. You can take this dunk with you.
Hey, put them on the posters, huh? We was young and jumping. Last one. I give you the phrase, this is my moment. What's the first thing comes to mind?
This is my moment to enjoy everything that I have worked for up until this point, and to make all those people that believed in me proud. Attaboy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rob, we done, brother.
Pat.
We done.
Yes, awesome.
Man, hey, don't go nowhere. I'm finna close the show out. Hang on.
Okay.
Hey, guys, this the deal, man. Grow yourself. Be better tomorrow than you are today. Don't get caught up in living like other people. Live for yourself. Be who you are and be true to it. And at the end of the day, go get it!
Join the movement, we bringing people together, bringing positivity, making changes for the better. Cause it's all about growth, all about success. We wanna see you rise, wanna see you at your best.